The first thing that you're going to want to do is download the file that I have linked below. Once you download that file, you're going to copy it into this folder here. Click on Start, and then click on your name. From there, click on Gimp 2.6, and then click on Scripts, and you're going to put that export layers file that you downloaded in this folder. Once you do that, if you have Gimp started up, close it and then open it back up. Once you open up Gimp, if you click on File, you'll see at the bottom there's a new option called Export Layers. We're going to use that later, but for now, just know that it's there. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to click File, Open as Layers, and then from there we're going to select a folder. With some pictures, and let's open, I don't know, 10 or so pictures, and then click Open. And what Gimp's going to do is it's going to go through and it's going to take each one of those photos and it's going to open it up as its own layer. Okay, now once it's done that, we're going to go ahead and change the canvas size to what we want it to be. Now that Gimp has opened up our images as layers, what we're going to do next is we're going to change the canvas size to whatever we want our images to be cropped down to. We're not going to use the crop tool for this because if we use the crop tool, it's going to also crop the images away. We only want to change the canvas size. So what we're going to do is we're going to click Image, Canvas Size. Now, I'm going to make this image a 7-inch wide by 5-inch tall, or all of my images 7 inches wide and 5 inches tall. So that means that the bigger dimension of those two is my width. So the first thing I'm going to do is copy the bigger dimension, which in this case is going to be the width. So right click on my selection and click Copy. Now I'm going to click on this chain, and that's going to unlink the width and the height. I'm going to switch over to inches, and I'm going to set my width to the height that I want it to be, or width that I want it to be, which is 7 inches, and the height to 5 inches. Now the problem is if you look here, you can see that box that represents the new canvas size compared to our topmost layer size, which as you can see, it's tiny. It's way too small. So we need to make our box, our canvas, bigger, but we don't want to lose the 7:5 ratio. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click on our chain again so that these two sizes are linked together. And then we're going to switch back over to pixels, and we're going to go into our width, and we're going to paste that width, that number that we copied earlier, which is going to be equal to the width that it was originally. And since they're chained together, whenever I click over on height, it's going to automatically change to the number that would be the same ratio as my 5:7. So now we have a 5:7 rectangle that's going to be as wide as it possibly can be without being too big. So now all we have to do is click Center, make sure Resize Layers is set to None, and then click Resize. So now we have a collection of layers that are all in this image on a 5:7 canvas. Now what we're going to do is we're going to click on our Move tool, and we're going to make sure that we are set to move the active layer, and we're just going to simply move each layer to an area, to a crop that we're happy with. So, you know, this first image, maybe we want the bottom. Yeah, that looks good. So then we hide that layer, click on the next layer, and repeat that process. Find another crop that we're happy with, hide that layer, click on the next layer, do it again. And we're going to repeat this process with every image until we're done with all of them. Now one thing you want to make sure is this image here is the same width as our actual canvas, so we have to make sure that we stay straight. You can't really go left or right because you'll see the image below it, and you don't want that. So make sure that you stay in line. Hide that. Continue on. Hide, click, move. And just to save you guys the trouble, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recorder now and just skip ahead after I've got all my photos in position. That way you don't have to sit here and watch me do this. Once you get all of your images moved in place, now you're going to click on the crop tool and you're going to crop all of these layers down to the proper size. So just click on your crop tool and then draw a rectangle and just maximize the rectangle out to the absolute most, the biggest size possible, and then just hit enter. Now what it did is it took all of our layers and it cut it down to the canvas size. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click on File, Export, Layers. And then you're going to click on Other and choose a folder to save your files to. And I've already done that, and I titled it Cropped Photos. And then here you can choose the output name. And as you can see, there's a little bit of syntax with this. You can do a squiggly line I for the image name, and then which is the name of the file that we currently have open in Gimp. The squiggly line L is the layer name. So if you took the time to name all of your layers as different names, and you then made a squiggly line L here, it would save all of your file names as the same thing as all of your images, or all of your layers, that is. I'm not going to really mess with that. I'm just going to go ahead and click OK, and it's going to go ahead and go through and save those layers. I'm going to save you guys the trouble again and go ahead and stop the recording now, and we'll pick up after it's done. And here you have it. Here's all my different layers saved out as individual images. Now if you open one of those up, you'll be able to see that each one of those images are all cropped down to a 5:7 ratio at the maximum possible resolution. I hope this helped. If you guys have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below. And enjoy.